Hi everyone. Today we are discussing about the structure of flower. This is the continuation of part 1. Today we'll start from the estivation. What is estivation and what are the various types of estivation? Here, first, what do you mean by estivation? Here, estivation is nothing but the arrangement of sepals and petals in flowers in the bud condition. Okay, it is nothing but the arrangement of sepals and petals. Sepals and petals are connectively known as the perianth. So here it is nothing but the arrangement, how the sepals and petals are arranged in the flower in the bud condition. We call that as the estivation. So here in flowers there are different types of estivations are seen. What they are? First one is volvate, then twisted, imbricate, quincungial and vexillary. Okay, we'll discuss what these are in detail one by one. First we'll discuss volvate estivation. See here in this volvate estivation, here arrangement of sepals or petals are very closely. See here, this is the one sepal, this is the another sepal. So in this way the arrangement of sepals or petals are there. But here there is no overlapping of margins. See here, this margin is not overlapping with this. This margin is not overlapping with this. So in this way, even though they are located very closely, but there is no overlapping of margins. So this type of arrangement is known as the volvate estivation. Example for this volvate estivation is Brassica campestris and the Calotropis. Okay, so this is the first type of estivation, that is the volvate estivation. Then let's go to the twisted estivation. What is twisted estivation? See here in this sepal or petal, here one margin is towards the outer side and one margin is towards the inner side. See here in this, one is outer and one is inner. One is outer and another one is inner. So in this type, here sepals or petals are arranged one outer and one inner in position. So in and out type of arrangement is seen. One margin is towards the outer side and another is towards the inner side. See here in this, whereas it is not overlapping, but here one is towards the inner and one is towards the outer side. So this type of arrangement is known as the twisted estivation, which is seen in the hibiscus, that is the China rose, lady's finger and the cotton. Next one is the imbricate estivation. See here in this type, see here in this sepal, both these margins are towards the inner side. Okay, these two are the inner side, whereas in this sepal both these two margins are towards the outer side, and remaining in these three sepals, one margin is towards the outer side and another is towards the inner side. In this again one is outer side, one is inner side. In this one is outer side and another one is inner side. So how the condition is, one sepal is completely in because the two margins lie inside, and in one sepal two margins are completely totally outside, and the remaining three sepals, one margin is outer and another is inner. So here one is completely in, one is completely out, and in these three in and out condition is seen. So this type of estivation we call it as the imbricate estivation, which we can see in the cassia and gulmohar. Example for the imbricate estivation. The next one is the quincungial estivation. See here in quincungial estivation, this particular petal, it is totally towards the outer side. Both these two margins are towards the outer side, and in this petal also both the margins are towards the outer side. So these two petals are showing total completely outside. Okay, whereas these two petals are showing both this margin inside, and in this also the both the margins lie inside. So here the two petals are showing completely inside. Remaining the fifth petal, it is showing one margin towards the outer side and another margin is towards the inner side. So how the condition of petals are here? The two petals, okay, now these two petals are completely outer, these two are completely inner, and this remaining last one is in and out, means one margin is towards the outer side and another is the inner side. Example for this is the Delonix, which is the quincongeal estivation. Then the last and fifth one is the vexillary. Okay, here in this vexillary, it is a special type of arrangement. Okay, now here a very large, okay, a large size of petal is found, which we call it as the standard petal. Okay, here the two normal size of petals are there, which we call it as the wing petals, and the two smaller keel petals are there, okay, which are fused here and form a boat like structure. It is known as the keel petals. So here the petals are modified into a different structures, okay, that is the standard petal, two wing petals, and the keel petal. Okay, example for this is the pea and the bean. So this is the complete details of the estivation. What is estivation? Here it is nothing but the arrangement of sepals and petals in the flower in bud condition. Okay, so that is the valvate, okay, where there is the they lie close together but there is no overlapping, twisted, in which in and out condition is seen. One margin is towards the outer side, another is inner side. In imbricate, one one petal is completely in, one is completely out, and three petals are showing in and out condition. Whereas in quincongeal, two are completely in and two are completely out, and the remaining one is in and out condition. Whereas in vexillary, there is a special types of petals are seen, that is the standard petal, wing petals, and the keel petals. So this is all about the estivation. Okay, next coming to the perianth. Here what is perianth? Calyx and corolla are together known as the perianth. Okay, here calyx and corolla, that is the sepals and petals, we togetherly call it as the perianth. Okay, and these are also known as the non-essential organs. Why these are called as the non-essential organs? Because they do not directly take part in the reproduction. Okay, so these are considered as the non-essential organs. Here, then what is its function? It protects andrecium and gynoecium. Okay, and it indirectly helps in the reproduction. Here, the calyx or the sepals are green in color. Okay, and corolla, it exhibits different color. Here, the main function of corolla is to give flower attractive nature so that the insects will interact and it help for the cross pollination. Then achlamydious. Okay, here what is achlamydious flowers? In which the perianth is absent. Okay, if the flowers, when it does not contain any perianth, means sepals and petals are absent, those flowers are known as the achlamydious. Okay, example for this is the male and female flowers of cyathium. This is a special type of flower in which there is no perianth. Then coming to the chlamydious. What is chlamydious? Flowers with perianth, means it contain both calyx and corolla. So that type of flowers are known as the chlamydious flowers. In this, it is further various type. Let us see what that is. First one is the monochlamydious. Monochlamydious means perianth is in one wall, means a single wall of perianth is there. Okay, here example for that is the croton and amaranthus. Okay, a single wall that is present. The next one is the dichlamydious, means the perianth in two walls. Okay, then this dichlamydious is further divided into two types, that is the homochlamydious and the heterochlamydious. What do you mean by homochlamydious here? The two walls of the perianth are similar, means here perianth means calyx and corolla. Homochlamydious means here we cannot differentiate this into calyx and corolla, even though there are the two whorls are there, but those two whorls are similar. Okay, so we cannot differentiate them into the calyx as well as corolla. So that is the homochlamydious condition which is seen in the ileum. Okay, that is the nothing but onion. Then the next one is the heterochlamydious. Okay, there are the two whorls of perianth are there, and it is differentiated into the outer calyx and inner corolla. Okay, so here it is showing a distinct, okay, demarcation of the calyx as well as the corolla. So that is termed as the heterochlamydious condition. Example for that is the hibiscus and datura. So this is all about the what is perianth and what is the chlamydious flowers, monochlamydias, dichlamydias in this homochlamydious and the heterochlamydious. Now let's go to the calyx. What is calyx? This is also known as the sepals. Okay, this is the first outer part of the flower. Okay, the first outer part of flower is known as the calyx. See here, see here in this part. Okay, the green color part of the flower which is found at the outer wall is known as the calyx or the sepals. Okay, so here what is sepal? It is the first outer part of the flower. Okay, generally it is green in color. Here what is the main function? It gives the protection to the flower in the bud condition. Okay, in bud condition it gives the protection to the flower. Okay, and here if sepals are free we call it as the polysepalous, means these are free. See here in this form. Okay, in this form, if flower is like this, in this form it is there. So that is the polysepalous which is seen in the annona, that is the custard apple. And if sepals are united, means these are united, it is completely united. Okay, so that type of sepals is known as the gamosepalous. Okay, now gamosepalous is known as the gamosepalous. Example for that is the hibiscus. Okay, and here the sepals are ephemerals. Ephemerals means there is, it is showing very short lifespan. Okay, they fall off before fertilization. Okay, before fertilization they fall off. Example for that is the argemone. Okay, in this plant the sepals will fall off before fertilization. Okay, and in some they fall off after fertilization. Okay, here in some plants, like if we take the example, in some plants they remain persistent, means they are still attached to the flower after fertilization, and in sometimes even they are attached with the fruit also. Okay, in some plants they remain persistent, means that that will remain with the fruit itself and it found attached to the flower. Okay, so here marquescent calyx. What is marquescent calyx? If calyx is persistent, means it is present but not grow after fertilization, it will be remain like that after fertilization also. Example of marquescent calyx, it is seen in the capsicum and the solanum. Okay, then the next one is the acrescent calyx. Here the calyx grow along with the fruit and it covers it. Okay, so here the growth of calyx will continuous even after formation of fruit also, and here it covers the fruit and it gives protection. So this type of calyx we call it as the acrescent calyx, which is seen in the physalis. So here the main differentiation of these two types of calyx is the, in marquescent calyx, the calyx, even though the calyx is present, but it will not grow after fertilization. That is the marquescent calyx. Whereas in acrescent calyx, calyx is found and it will grow along with the fruit and it covers. So here if growth continues after formation of fruit, that is the acrescent. In macrescent, even though that is present, but there is no growth. So there is the main difference between the marquescent and the accrescent. So this is about the calyx. Here that is the outermost part, and here whether they are united or free. If they are free, that is the polysepalous. If that is fused, we call it as the gamosepalous. Then marquescent and the accrescent. This is all about the calyx. Let us move forward for the corolla. Okay, see here in this structure, this part, okay, the colorful part of the flower, that is the corolla. See here, the red color structure which is seen in this diagram is known as the corolla. We call it as the petals also. So this is the second whorl of a flower. Okay, the first whorl is the calyx, which is green in color. The next whorl is corolla or the petals, which is colorful. Okay, it consists petals. So here petals are there, and these are colorful and attractive. Okay, so it shows various colors. It attracts insects for the cross pollination. Okay, because it is very colorful, so here it attracts the insects for the cross pollination. This is all about the corolla or the petals. Then coming to the androecium. Here androecium is nothing but the male reproductive structure of the flower. Okay, male reproductive structure of flower is also known as the androecium. It is the third whorl. Okay, third whorl of the flower and the outer whorl of the essential organs containing the stamens. Even though that is the third whorl of flower, but is the outer whorl of the essential organs. There are two essential organs in the flower. What that is? Androecium and gynoecium. So here the outer wall of the essential organs are the androecium, okay, which contains the stamens. That is nothing but the male reproductive structure. This is the male reproductive organ, and it is also known as the microsporophyll. Okay, and it produces the pollen grains, which are known as the male gametes. Here in some plants the sterile stamens are also found. We call these sterile stamens as the staminodes. Okay, even though the stamens are there, but those are sterile, means they cannot reproduce. They are incapable to reproduce. So those are known as the sterile stamens, which we found in the Cassia species. So this is about the outline of the androecium. Now let us discuss this in detail. What are the parts of stamen? See here, this is the stamen. Okay, if we take a single stamen and if we observe, this uppermost part is known as the anther. See here, this is the anther, and in between, by which these two anthers are connected, this part is known as the connective, and this stalk like structure is known as the filament. So here this each stamen, it contains two important parts. What these are? The stalk like structure, that is the filament, and these two structures is known as the anthers. Okay, so here anther, it contain one or two sac like structures, that is the anther lobes. Okay, see here it is showing two lobes. Okay, in some it will show a single lobe which produces pollen grains. Okay, what is the function of these anther lobes? It produces the pollen grains. What are pollen grains? Pollen grains are the male gametes, okay, which take part in the reproduction. Dithecous anthers. What are dithecous anthers here? Anthers which contain two anther lobes. See here, this is the example of the dithecous anther. Two lobes are there. Okay, example for that is the datura. Then the next one is the monothecous anther. If anther it is containing a single lobe is there, then we call it as the monothecous anther. Example for that is the hibiscus. Okay, so this is the about the two types of anthers, that is the dithecous as well as the monothecous. Now let's go to the some more terminology found in the anther, that is the extros. What is the extros condition here? After maturity, what will happen? there will be dehiscence of anther. As a result, the pollen grains will come outside, okay, and the pollination will take place. So here, what is the extros condition? If the dehiscence of anther occurs by the outer part, okay. See here, for example, if we draw anther like this, so here if the dehiscence will takes place by the outer part of anther, okay, then this type of dehiscence we call it as the extros. This type of stamens is known as the extros, okay. Example for that is the hibiscus, okay. Then the next is the intros, the dehiscence of anther by the inner part. Here outer part is taking part for the dehiscence, but in this intros type the dehiscence will takes place by the inner side. Inner part of the anther will dehisce and the pollens are released. So this type of anthers are known as the intros anthers. Example for this is the datura, okay. This is the two types of anthers based on the dehiscence. Extros, the dehiscence will occur by the outer part. Intros, the dehiscence will takes place by the inner part. Okay, example for that is the hibiscus and datura. Then coming to the attachment of filament to the anther lobes. What we studied, there is the filament which is attached to the anther lobes. So there are various types by which the filament is attached to the anther lobes. Based on this, we divide it into the four types. What that is? Basifixed, adnate, dorsifixed and the versatile. These are the four types of anthers by which the type, okay, attachment of filament to the anther lobes, by which mode the filament is attached to the anther lobes. Let us see all this one by one. First one is the basifixed, okay. See here at the basal region, okay, here this is the filament, okay, it is attached to the anthers at its base, okay. This is the basal part of anther. From to this basal part this filament is attached, so we call this type of anthers as the basifix type of anthers. Example for this is the datura, okay. The next one is the adnate. See here, in this, the filaments it extends from the base to the apex of the anther lobes. Till here it is extended from the base till the apex of the anthers. So it covers a large area. So this type of arrangement of the anthers we call it as the adnate anthers. It is seen in the Nilambu. Then the next one is the dorsifixed. See here, in this this is the filament. It is attached to the anther on the mid dorsal side. Okay, this is the dorsal and this is the ventral side. It is attached to the mid dorsal type. So we call it as the dorsifixed anthers. It is seen in the hibiscus. The next is the versatile, okay. See here, in this type the apex of the filament is pointed. See here, this is the filament and this is the apex. It is pointed and it is attached to the back of the anther. This is the anther, okay. This is the front part, this is the back part. So it is attached to the anther back at the point, so that the anther lobes swing freely at any direction. At this point it is attached to the anther, so that this anther lobes can move freely in any direction, okay. So this type of arrangement of the filament to the anther we call it as the versatile anthers. It is seen in the rice plant, that is the Oryza sativa. So here, based on the attachment of filament to the anther lobes, it is four types. Basifixed, example is datura. Adnate, example is nilambo. Dorsifixed, that is the hibiscus. Versatile, that is the oryza. Okay, I hope that it is clear for you. If you are having any doubts, you can directly ask in your comment box. The next one is the next we'll discuss the length of stamens. Okay, how the length of the stamens are there in the flowers. First one is the didynamous. Okay, what is didynamous condition here? Androecium has four stamens. Okay, here the four stamens are there, 1 2 3 4, in which two stamens are long and other two are short. See here, these two are the long stamens and these two are short in size. So we call this condition as the didynamous. Example for this is the ossimum, that is the tulsi. Then coming to the tetradynamous. See here, tetra means 4. In this androecium, it has 6 stamens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 stamens are there. And these are arranged in the two walls. Okay, that is the two circles. The outer two stamens are shorter. See here, these two stamens are found at the in the outer wall and these two are the shorter in length. Whereas the inner wall, it contains the four longer stamens. Example for this is the brassica. Okay, so based on the length, there are the two types of stamens are seen. Didynamous, in which two are long and two are short. Example is the ossimum. In tetradynamous, here the 6 stamens are there which are arranged in the two walls, in which the outer wall has the two short stamens and the inner, inner wall is having the four longer stamens. Example for this is the brassica. Okay, then length of the filament compared to that of corolla means how it is it the length of the filament of anther, is it longer than the corolla lobes or it is shorter in the in compared to the corolla lobes? Means the anthers are coming outer from the flower or these are inner side, these are restricted to the only inner part of the flower. See here, inserted stamens. What is inserted stamens? In some flowers, the filaments of the anthers are shorter than the petals. Okay, so here the petals or corolla is larger and the filaments of the anthers are shorter. Okay, so we call this condition as the inserted stamens. Okay, so these stamens will remain within inside the flower because the filaments are smaller than the petals, so these will remain in within the flower. Example for this is the dolichos and the datura. The next is the exerted stamens. In this, some flowers, the filaments of stamens are longer than the petals. So they come out of the flower. Okay. So here from the flower petals, they will come outer. So this type is known as the exerted stamens. Example for this is the Acacia arabica. So based on the length of the filament, there is the two types of stamens are there. Inserted means here the filaments are short and these stamens are remain within the flower. Example is the dolichos and datura. Exerted means here the filaments of the stamens are larger and it will come out of the flower. Example is Acacia